Hello everybody, Liz here and welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk to you guys about An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. I am horrible and I'm sorry. So I picked up this book on the recommendation of my friend Kaylin, who has been recommending me some pretty amazing books lately, and this is one of them. She actually gifted it to me for Christmas, which is awesome. So An Ember in the Ashes is a fantasy novel. It takes place in a different world, obviously, and it is ruled by this group called the Marshals, and one of our main protagonists, Elias, is a marshal, and our other main protagonist, Leia, is a scholar. So essentially they are two completely different people. Elias is older than Leia, and they both have hardships in their life that they've had to overcome. Leia more recently than Elias. This book jumps in from page 1. We automatically get thrown into this world, but it doesn't feel too overwhelming. It kind of explains it to you as the chapters go on. The world building is very subtle, but it's very informative and entrancing, so you kind of understand why everything is the way that it is. You get this through both Leia and Elias's point of view. So they live in this martial empire, which resembles a lot, in my opinion, the Roman Empire and the way that the Roman Empire was run, and also like the idea of the emperor and the empire, and then some of the things within the story that I can't really tell you without spoiling it kind of remind me of what the Roman Empire could have been or was. Again, it's not like an exact copy, but it's definitely borrowed some really great ideas from the Roman Empire-esque kind of vibe, which I absolutely loved. I love the whole Roman-esque kind of thing, so it's definitely a bonus. So going back to our main characters, Elias and Leia, so they are, like I said, very different characters. Leia definitely has more of a spiritual, mental, resilient character development as opposed to Elias, who's already very resilient as it is. So they have kind of a similar but different character development. Leia's is definitely a lot more noticeable by the end of the book than Elias's was. Elias kind of already starts off heading towards the right direction, as opposed to Leia, who has to have an incident happen in her life for it to be the catalyst for her to become who she becomes at the end of the book. I gave this book a 5 out of 5. Like I said, it was non-stop, fast-paced, didn't leave you for a second to catch your breath for what was going on. It was a page turner. I had a hard time putting it down once I started picking it up, just because like it's alternating chapters, so you kind of are like itching to find out what happens to one person, and then you get switched to the other person, and then you're itching to find out what happens to them, and it's just a vicious cycle that makes you read this book ridiculously quickly. In just a few hours when I first picked up, I read 100 pages, and I think the only reason I put it down is because I had to go do adult stuff. But other than that, I think I would have read it in one sitting. I'm already on Torch Against the Night. I'm already like jumping into that one. It definitely is a book I would recommend. It's very good, it's very fast paced in my opinion. I've heard that it's a little slow in other people's, but I really love the world building in these kinds of books, especially the first books. There is a lot of world building. You have to understand the rules of the world and the way that people are and the way that everything's set up the way it is, and I feel like this book did a really good job about that, and I really enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend it. 5 out of 5. You guys should go check this out if you guys haven't, because you got to. And I can't say anything else without spoiling it. So if you haven't read this book, I suggest you go and pick it up and come back, because there will definitely be spoilers after this and a lot of fan theories and a lot of things that I was like, oh, about for the next book and for this book. So I'll give you guys 2 more seconds. 1, 2, and spoilery. So, An Ember in the Ashes. Whew. Jump in. Pushed in more likely. This book's super fast paced in my opinion. I mean, from the moment that Leia's parents die, you're just kind of like, you know it's gonna be one of those books. You know it's gonna be like a heart-wrenching book, and it definitely is. You mean Leia gets her grandparents murdered, her brother gets taken by a mask, and you don't know why at first, and you're just kind of like, what kind of world are we living in here? And obviously it's not a good one, because then we go over to Elias and we realize that he was trying to desert, and you find out that deserting is just the worst thing you could do. Killing somebody by just whipping them and latching them, that is some intense ass shit. Like, can you imagine how much you have to whip somebody to kill them? I mean, the poor little kid in the whipping here only was like, I think it was like 30, something like that. And he was like 10 years old. And it was so sad. And that's how I knew this book is gonna crush my soul. And I was like, let me continue to love and fall in love with characters for them to just get murdered by the end of the series, because let's be real, it's probably gonna happen. So we have him, Elias, trying to desert, and then we meet Helena, who I really love as a character, even though she can be a little hard-headed, but I think that that makes her character more likable, because Laia is very stubborn in a very like meek kind of way, I feel, because she wants to be strong and she isn't. Like, that's just not who she is, and it frustrates my soul that she is like trying so hard. And I'm just like, let it come, girl, like just go with the flow for just like 2 seconds, please, please. But obviously her not going with the flow is what makes me like her at the end. At the beginning I was just like yeah, girl, like, you're just gonna get yourself killed. She goes into the catacombs, doesn't know what she's gonna find or if she's gonna find the resistance, which every time I kept thinking of the resistance, my mind kept going to Star Wars, because I was like, the resistance, and I kept thinking of Star Wars whenever they kept mentioning the resistance. So that's irrelevant to anything, but that was really funny. We find the resistance, and the resistance doesn't very much help until she has to reveal who her parents are, which I have some theories on who her mother is. Either her mother is Cook, or Cook knew her mother, or Cook is her mom's sister or her dad's sister, or she was in love with was in love with Leia's dad, I believe. Also, I think Elias's dad was either a scholar or a tribesman or Mazin or whatever his name is, because she mentions that she wants to kill him. Like, she wanted to kill Elias's dad. Those are just some theories that I have that I felt like I needed to just blurt out before I even talked about anything else. I mean, Marcus becoming Emperor at the end, I was just like, what is it with authors and twins and killing off the good twin? Pierce Brown, I'm looking at you. Pierce, you got a break because the other twin isn't so bad, but we get the worst twin. We get the psychopathic Chucky Spawn twin that just wants to murder everybody and everything as the Emperor. I mean, he was just a horrible person, and poor Zack he just wanted his brother to be happy, and obviously that's too much to ask for, ever, because they always end up dying. And then we have that third trial where they have to battle against each other. I was really hoping that like the Auroras, I'm gonna call them Auroras because I can't think of anything else to say. I thought that they were going to like bring them back to life. They weren't gonna really die, and it was just part of the test, like, it was okay. But then, of course, that's, too much to ask for. So we have everybody get murdered basically, and there's only like 4 of the group at the from the beginning left. The one with the girlfriend fiance dies, and Zack dies, and Helena almost dies twice. I had to have my friend confirm that Helena wasn't gonna die because I could not pick up the book after the first trial. I was like, please tell me she doesn't die, at least in this book. And she didn't, because she was like, her pulse was so faint at the ending of the first trial, right? I was just like, how are you gonna kill off such a bamf female character? Like, this girl can put up against all of these other masked dudes, and she's like one of the 4 in her class. Like, how are you gonna tell me that the girl is the only one that's gonna die? So I'm glad she didn't die, or I would have been really upset, and I would have thrown this book away and just cried. But she wasn't, so she's alive, and she survived again because she won the second challenge, which was awesome because she single-handedly protected Elias after he fell. Also, like, I also appreciated just Helena in general. Like, I thought she was awesome. I think she's great. Elias is still my favorite character because he's so morally righteous, even though he has been brought up as a mask, and masks are supposed to be these horrible, ridiculously demonic people because they've been raised since they were 6 years old. Like, that's crazy. And then they get set them off into like the wilderness to survive, and I was just like, no wonder these people are rulers. They're like hardcore. Goodness. But I'm sidetracking here so much. The commandant, I hope I said that right. Talk about a crazy ass woman. Like, she marks all of her slaves and she just hates her son, and I know that we're supposed to feel sorry for her or that we're supposed to kind of feel for her because she revealed that like moment of weakness with Elias. She's still a horrible person. Like, she left her kid to die essentially, or she wanted to leave her kid to die, and I'm just like, which also emphasizes that her dad probably is a scholar and she is embarrassed because she's like blonde and he has darker skin, and the only thing they share is their eyes. So I'm calling it Elias has a scholar dad. And it's like somebody that we've met probably, or somebody that's important, or somebody in the resistance. Because she has spies in the resistance. Which is also like, when this book started, I wanted Keenan and Leia to get together. But now I want Elias and Leah to get together. Leia and Helena and Keenan maybe. Because I'm just trash when it comes to shipping people. And then we also have like the problems within the resistance, where Mazen and Sansa are like at opposite ends of the kind of fighting force, where they've been fighting over rulership of the resistance. Mazen obviously is willing to do anything it takes to make sure that the resistance does its job and, you know, is prosperous. And obviously, like, that was him lying to Leia about this mission, which makes him kind of a really bad person if you think about it. Yes, he's trying to be part of the resistance and be the head of the resistance, but like, he's willing to lie and sacrifice like a 17-year-old girl to win. If that doesn't tell you that you're a bad person, I don't know what will. And then we have the freaking commandant having eyes everywhere, and that Nightbringer dude, who we obviously gonna know is like the overall main antagonist of the entire series. I haven't really figured out like what is going on. Obviously, Elias and Leah are going to be like the huge link in like this prophecy that the Auguras have decided to put through, because they're like, we're going to right the wrong and like the guilt. So are they talking about like the Martial Empire wasn't supposed to get to this point? It wasn't supposed to be this corrupt, and it has been this corrupt, and now this Nightbringer dude is just gonna make everything worse for the scholars? Or were the scholars supposed to like get wiped out? Something there, right? 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 Yeah, we'll go with that one. So other WTF moments we have is just Elia giving me anxiety when she is trying to spy on the commandant, because it's like, girl, they just told you that the commandant knows things she shouldn't know, and you're over here trying to sneak around, and just, I got so much anxiety with dealing with Leia. I'm just like, girl. Whew. And then we have Izzy and Cook's backstories, and I feel like Izzy is Leia's sister or cousin if any of my Cook theories pan out, because Cook gets really worked up when she talks about the resistance and about her past. So maybe because she was tortured so badly, it causes her to have like a traumatic episode or an episode. Perhaps. We have Elia's brother, who we don't know anything about. We don't know where he's at. We don't even know if he's alive. And I'm hoping he's alive, because if she does everything for him to be alive, and this is going to be another Hunger Games thing where everything gets done because of Prim, and then Prim dies, I'm gonna just cry. So I hope he's alive, because I feel like that would just be like a knife to the gut. But I at this point, I mean, how this book treats its characters, I wouldn't be surprised. And again, I don't mind it. I love that I'm so emotionally invested in this book. It means I love it. I mean, I'm already on the next one. I'm recommending it to you. Come suffer with me, because let's suffer together. Oh, and then we have Leah almost dying like 2 times because she does not understand. Again, this comes the whole anxiety thing, where she almost gets beaten by the commandant and disfigured, and then she almost gets killed because of Marcus's stupid self. The snake name fits so perfectly. Oh, how am I gonna forget Elena having like the voice of angels where she can save you? What? Who is she? What is she? Because now we know that the Aurora's like awoke some shit, because all these creatures that aren't supposed to be real are coming to life. So who is Helena really? Are Elias and Leia gonna have powers? I want to say yes. Ooh, something else that I really loved about this book that has nothing to do with anything. The way that the fighting styles and the fighting scenes are written out here are so good. It's really hard to like write. I think like fight scenes, because you know it's movement and that's very hard to mimic in your head, and I feel like it did a really good job of that, where I felt like I knew exactly what was going on and it wasn't overwhelming. It wasn't like ridiculous moves, and it told you what was happening without bombarding you with like movements of the body. So I really liked that about that. My friend absolutely loved it about it. I love the emotional pull that each of the characters have, and the characters that we have only just met. Overall, I mean, I'm just saying this book is really good and I really enjoyed it, and I'm very much looking forward to finishing the next book soon, before the next week is over. An Ember in the Ashes, 10 out of 10, definitely 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. It's excellent, it's phenomenal, the character development is great, it is very realistic, it is very true to the characters, and yeah, that is all for me, guys, on An Ember in the Ashes, because I'm just gonna start babbling at this point. So I hope you guys have a great morning, afternoon, or night whenever you happen to be watching this. And if you like this video, feel free to hit that like button, and if you want to see more like this or more of my face, feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. If not, I will see you guys in my next video. Happy readings, adios. And can you see that my freaking glasses are all smudged?